Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. I'm Moose, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, this channel does knife, gear, food, and tech reviews, and some vlogs. So if any of those things interest you, please click the subscribe button and hit the bell notification for any up-to-date videos that come along. Other than that, today we have a knife review, and that is of this guy. This is the Giant Mouse Ace Iona. Alright, so today we're talking about the Giant Mouse Ace Iona. It's a small, compact, folding pocket knife that I really like. So we'll go over the specs and take a look and deep dive into this knife, and I can tell you whether or not I recommend it or what I recommend it for. First off, this knife is about 7 inches long. It has a blade length of just over 2 3/4 inches long with a cutting edge just about 2 3/4 inches long. The blade thickness is 0.12 inches thick. The handle length is just over 4 inches in length. The handle width is 0.87 inches tall. And the handle thickness is at about 1/2 inch thick. The overall weight on this guy is just around 2.5 ounces. So there you have it, guys. Those are kind of the specs. We'll talk about this knife, just overall design and action and how it feels in hand and everything. So talking about the blade, this I think is considered technically like a drop point, but to me it's closer to a flat back knife design, and that's where the spine of the knife just goes completely flat and then it dips, but there is a slight drop to the blade. It is basically a full flat grind. You do have a little bit of a saber grind towards the top there, but for the most part it's a clean flat grind, plain edge blade. It has a nice stonewash finish on there, and if you can see, there's the Giant Mouse design Ace Biblio or Ace Iona on there. It also says the blade steel is M390. You have dual thumb studs on either side, making it ambidextrous as far as opening. There is no jimping or texturing on top of the spine, and it is a designated manual thumb stud opening. So that's pretty much the blade. The blade is really nice, honestly, a very practical design, very functional, utilitarian blade shape. The thumb studs are nice and slightly stepped there, so your thumbs do lock into them. But they seem to be in a perfect place for deployment, and I'm very happy with the blade shape and the finish on the blade for this knife. Moving into the handle. The handle is a textured FRN. Kind of has this like alternating groove pattern with some flats to more or less outline that along the handle. It is symmetrical on either side, which is nice. It gives it a nice even feel and texture to the handle. The handle itself for this model, this is the FRN model, and it comes in a number of different colors that I've seen, though I think they're discontinuing the FRN model, or at least limiting the colors from what I saw. So talking about that, besides the FRN model, it does come in G10, and there is also an aluminum handle scale variant as well. The G10 colors at the time of making this video were orange, blue, green, and black. But you know, check my links that I'm going to put down there in the description below for any up-to-date colors that are available on some of the more common sites. So but either way, I'm very happy with this color. I did get this for a pretty good price. The FRN models are going to be cheaper than the other two models. The FRN models are about $100, and for an M390 blade, imported from Italy, like this knife's made in Italy. Honestly, it's a really awesome package for $100, totally worth it. And then if you want to upgrade to the G10 models, it's gonna be $25 more, but they look really nice. And because I like this, spoiler alert, I do like this knife. I am considering purchasing possibly one of the G10 models. Moving into the handle, it does have a fold over deep carry wire pocket clip. It's done really well. It has a nice kind of rounded flat hardware that is kind of sunk into the handle scale, so it's very easy to slide in and out. So the hardware for that pocket clip sits nice and flush with the handle scale. It is bidirectional or left or right hand directional, so you can take the pocket clip and put it over on the other side for left hand carry. Really do dig the pocket clip itself, so very nice there. There is no lanyard hole, and there is metal recessed liners inside. There is almost a full liner on the lock bar side, the liner lock side, and then just partial liner towards the pivot here. So it's pretty smart design to keep it lightweight. It is a partial flow through construction, where the G10 variant has barrel spacers and it's a full flow through construction. There is some minor jimping on the liner lock, and it works really well as far as deployment. It's very grippy and the action is very smooth. So I will say that overall the action on this knife with the thumb studs is a lot smoother than I was expecting. It does run on bronze phosphorus washers, but you know, with a thumb flick, this thing just flies right open, and it just feels super smooth as far as like closing it. Honestly, the fidget factor with this is pretty good for being on bronze phosphorus washers or bronze bushings. So very happy with that. The other thing is the overall profile with this knife is fairly slim, which makes it great in pocket, especially with that fold over deep carry clip. Tip up only, so overall really enjoy it. Now as far as the ergos go on this knife, it is kind of a unique shape with kind of a continuous arch over, and there is a little bit of a knuckle towards the end. I feel the texture too is pretty noticeable, so if you're a texture person and you like a more neutral texture handle, this might bug you, but for the most part it does lock in well. I do have large size XL size hands, so I can get 4 fingers if I really want to, but definitely not for my pinky in there. So it's more like the 3 fit right into that crook of the knife, and then my pinky wraps that last little knuckle on the outside, and that feels the most comfortable for my hand, if you can see it. But it feels really comfortable here, and I've used this quite a bit. I've taken this knife on a hike and carved wood and, you know, cut cardboard and boxes, and so this grip right here feels very comfortable. Obviously it's a smaller knife, so you're not going to be doing any sort of crazy, like, super hard work with it, so don't expect that. And I think that's kind of a misconception with some knives, is that you know, knife reviewers, they'll take it and they'll just squeeze it because they want to find if there's any hot spot, and it's a fair enough review, but you're not going to be gripping a knife this small with all your might, so the hot spot would never really occur in that matter. Not to say that it wouldn't, but like, it's unlikely. This is more of like a small camp task knife, small carver. It isn't something for heavy work where you're really going to be cranking down. You know, that being said, This is built well and it will do work. And yeah, so we're gonna test the ugly brown glove test with this knife. So the glove itself fits good. As always, I usually notice that there's no jimping up top with that. The texture on the handle actually locks the hand in pretty well, especially with that knuckle at the back. So push-pull is pretty good, but once again, I wish there's a little bit of jimping. Other than that, disengaging the lock, finding the thumb studs works very well. Easily deployed. Yeah, I like that texture. It works well with the cloth glove. I can disengage and I can flick. Very smooth. So does it pass? Yes, it passes the ugly brown glove test. So there you have it. So now, overall, do I like this knife? Yes, I like this knife. I think it's a really good design. If you watch my best knives of 2020, this was in my top 5. And I had been carrying it so much that I forgot to review it, and it shouldn't even have been on the list. But that's how much I like this knife. It just, besides my mini bug out, this was the second most carried knife, I think, of the year, and I continue to carry this, so I really do like this design. Who do I think it's for? I think it's for urban EDC. EDC, you know, it's a pretty subtle color and shape. It's not very aggressive or threatening. So honestly, it's one of those knives that, you know, as a utility knife, it can fit pretty much anywhere. Specifically, I think it's great for backpacking with the deep carry clip. Yes, there's no lanyard hole, so if you need to like use a carabiner on your knife, then it wouldn't be good. But overall, just for like a small pocket knife, lightweight pocket knife that is great for hiking, this definitely fits the bill. Overall, really enjoy this knife. Think it's great, and I definitely think it's worth a $100 price point to a $125 price point at the time of this video. So there you have it, guys. This is my review of the Giant Mouse Ace Iona. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what color you would want to get this knife in if you do choose to get it. And as always leave me comparable recommendations as well. If you think there's something that's similar but better, leave that comment down below and let me know what you think. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. And yeah, check out my other videos. Peace, and I'll see you outside. Bye.